So, you got a cool job. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Alright, yeah, so my name is Ty Clark. I'm the principal's son. I've been living in Europe for the past 3.5 years. And I was studying over there, and now I am working as a game designer. This is me at my study program, doing some motion capture stuff. I don't know, does anyone know what motion capture is?
No.
1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. That's a good amount. That's actually kind of impressive because it's kind of a crazy concept. But if you want, we can talk more about that later. Yeah, so I went to study game design in Copenhagen, and during that time, I made kind of my first prototype game, which was a game that you could play with a guitar. It was like an educational game, and when you played it, you could level up, you could get experience points, I basically tested that against a group that had the same learning interface down here, but they didn't have the game mechanics. And what I kind of proved is that games are a lot of fun. It can motivate people, and can really motivate you to do some things outside of the game world. But since then, since I graduated, I kind of formed my own company. It's not like EA or anything like that. I didn't do any work on Assassin's Creed 3. But yeah, I started my own company with a couple other people. I have a couple artists that work for me. I have a programmer. And we communicate, and we are building a game that will hopefully be available this summer. And it's for iPhones and iPads and all other kind of tablets. And it's a lot of work, but it is a lot of fun. This is kind of a screenshot from our current game. We call it Pop-Up Kingdom. And it's a casual game slash role-playing game. So you play characters and you play in this kind of fantasy world. And right now we're kind of working with interaction with the iPhone. But I'm going to talk a lot about the game design stuff a little bit later. But what I really want to talk to you guys about today is how I became a game designer. Because I mean, you guys are, what, 12, 13 years old, so you're, so you're starting to think about, what you might want to do in the future, right? You're kind of thinking, there's a lot out there. I didn't want to be a game designer when I was young, but now I do it, and I really, really love it. It's great. And so what I wanted to do is I just kind of wanted to bring up some things that I noticed about my career choice and the path that I took to get to that career that I hope will help you in the future. So I came up with kind of 3 main steps that maybe you can take with you for today. Maybe write it down or something and keep it in mind. And yeah, I really hope that it helps you in the future. So my first step I'm going to talk about is finding your passion, because this can actually be a tough one. Because let me ask you guys a question: like, how many of you know exactly what you want to be? Wow, quite a few. That's not bad. All right, what do you want to be?
Law enforcement.
Law enforcement. All right, that's cool. What do you want to be?
FBI agent.
FBI agent. So a lot of police in this room. All right, good. Needed. Anyone else?
Oh.
All right, what do you want to be?
Game designer.
Game designer, right? Well, perfect. We can chat more after the break if you want. So yeah, finding your passion is important. Does anyone want to guess what I wanted to be when I was young? Okay. You will probably won't guess this. Maybe a hint. Forester? No.
A doctor.
Artist.
Doctor. Artist? No.
Fireman.
No. I'll give you a hint.
Basketball player.
That's right. I wanted to be a professional basketball player.
Is that you?
That's me when I was like 5 or 6. And I wanted to be a professional basketball player since I was 5 until about the age 15. And I really believed that I was going to the NBA. I thought I was going to be a professional basketball player. The problem with that was I was a little bit short. And I basically stayed that same height until I was like 15. And when I tried out to play basketball in high school when I was in 14 and 15, I tried out for the team, and I didn't make it 2 years in a row. It was a bit devastating to me, but what it did lead me to do is to try out different things, different professions. why it's important is because when you do something that you're passionate about and you go to work, it doesn't actually really feel like work at all. It becomes fun. And to be honest, I like designing games more than I like playing them. And that's great. And I'm really happy about that because when I get to work on something, it's fun. You know, I see a lot of people around my age and, you know, they kind of stuck with some subject. Maybe, you know, they decided they wanted to be a lawyer and they just kind of stuck with that. But later they kind of didn't really like being a lawyer. And so they, they weren't so like happy in their jobs. But that's my #1 message to you, is just find something that you like to do. It could be anything. Be a diesel mechanic, be a singer. But just, you know, don't be afraid to experiment in different careers. Just go for it and find something that you love to do. My second career advice that I'd like to give you, which kind of goes along with finding your passion, is traveling. I'm a bit of a travel buff. I love to travel. And you may be asking yourself, like, what does this have to do with me finding a career? Well, the more that you travel, the more that you'll find out about yourself, the more you'll learn about yourself, the more you'll kind of be able to identify what it is you love to do in life and what you want to do. And I actually came from a small town just like you guys, probably even smaller. What's the population of Weed?
3,000.
3,000?
Something like that.
What? Too much.
I still get beat because I grew up in a small town, which is over here, which is about 1,300 people. So really small. And I lived somewhere there. This is a Google satellite, and I still haven't quite been able to find my house, but it's up there somewhere. But I think, you know, growing up in a small town, that also kind of made me want to go out and experience different things and want to, like, see what else is out there. So this was kind of what I did. I kind of bounced around California a bit. You know, I started out in Humboldt County in that small town I told you about. Then I went to actually 3 different junior colleges. And then I eventually ended up in UC Davis, where that's where I did my bachelor's degree. And then after that, I actually worked in San Francisco for a couple of years doing web and print design. And then I just moved to Copenhagen, Denmark. Does anyone know where Copenhagen is? Yeah?
I think so. Isn't it past San Francisco, but not as far as San Diego?
You're thinking of that
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wrong place then. I was like, okay, I've been here, but I
You're
think
thinking
it's
of
something else.
Wrong cunt.
Anyone else roughly know where Denmark is?
Nice, Ian.
My dad's from Denmark.
Okay. Because actually a lot of adults I meet think it's part of the Netherlands still, but this is where I studied, over here. And then this is a bunch of different places that I've been traveling to. And one thing I can tell you about traveling is with every new place that I go, I learn something new about myself. And I think that has also been contributing to ultimately finding what I really love to do, game design. So if we sum up, my kind of 3 steps of career advice, 1 would be like find your passion. Don't be afraid to try things. 2, travel. Just go places, even if it's a new city, a new state. Just go and experience things. Maybe there you'll find something new that you want to try. And 3 is like be persistent and make mistakes. I think persistence really pays off. If you just keep with something, or you just keep like trying to do something, you will. I think a lot of people just kind of give up and are happy where they are. But as long as you're persistent and you want to do things, you'll do really great things. And don't be afraid to make mistakes either. Nobody learns by doing everything correctly. So if when I first started doing graphic design, actually I wasn't very good at it, and my teachers were like, yeah, you should be in this class. But I was like, no, I'm staying in this class and I'm going to learn how to do it. I want to leave you with this. This is just something that has inspired me. I found it about 6 months ago, and it's actually inspired a lot of people throughout the world. It's called the Holstein Manifesto, and it's just a manifesto saying, just a philosophy about life, really. And if you want to leave me your email, I can send this to you. What it says, this is your life. Do what you love and do it often. If you don't like something, change it. If you don't like your job, quit. Which, you might want to keep your job a little bit for now, but if you really don't like it, find something else. If you don't have enough time, stop watching TV. If you're looking for the love of your life, stop. They will be waiting for you when you start doing things you love. Stop overanalyzing. Life is simple. All emotions are beautiful. When you eat, appreciate every last bite. Open your mind, arms, and heart to new things and people. We are united in our differences. Ask the next person you see what their passion is, and share your inspiring dream with them. Travel often. Getting lost will help you find yourself. Some opportunities only come once. Seize them. Life is about the people you meet and the things you create with them. So go out and start creating. Life is short. Live your dream and share your passion. So, I mean, that's kind of like more in depth than like I've been going through today, but I mean, that's kind of, you know, what I believe and what I hope you guys take with you today. That's in those 3 steps. So, that's what I have on career advice, and now on to some game design stuff. So, I'll show you a bit of the stuff that we're working on. And kind of the process. How many people here actually know what a game designer does? Yeah, that's pretty much it, actually. Basically, a game designer lays out the rules for the game. They say, basically, there's nothing about the game that the game designer doesn't know about, because they basically go through every detail. When someone clicks this button, what happens? The person pushes the joystick in this direction and then hits A. What happens then? So what I do is I basically lay out the details for the game, and then I work with a programmer and an artist, and the artist drafts, all the art up, and then the programmer makes the stuff work. So this is just kind of what we have as a game design document. So this is primarily what I do, but I do a lot of other stuff too. This is kind of just menu-based stuff. And you can see kind of how I describe it is generally I say like an iPhone. I have a picture of it, and I kind of put an image of what it could look like. I try and keep it pretty basic because I want the artist to really be creative with it and do what he thinks it should look like. And then I basically write what everything is supposed to do. And I also get to do fun stuff like like if I come up with a character, I just kind of write what I think that character is about and tell them a bit of a backstory, and the artist will go and create that character. And then what he does is he goes and he drafts up a character, and then it comes in, he drafts it up in like little parts like this. And there's like, I mean, there's so many ways to do this that I can't even describe it all, but this is the way that we're working. So he basically takes his character, and this is all her parts. And so he kind of often does like he actually starts with a drawing, and then he brings it into the computer, and then he traces it, and then he does a bunch of really good coloring and makes it look really nice. Then what we do is we then bring it into what's called a 3D game or a 3D program. Has anyone heard of 3ds Max?
Yeah.
Yeah, or Maya? Yeah. Basically, it's a program that creates a 3-dimensional world. So you can see, like, I can fully rotate around this character in the 3D world. And there's a lot of other kind of cool stuff you can do. What we also have been doing is we create animations. So you can see this is her animation. And all of those represent something that's going to happen in the game engine. So she shoots, she fires, she runs, she does a lot of different things. And that's all controlled with these different bone objects, which is, you know, this stuff's like pretty complex, but it's a lot of fun. You know, it's always fun to like, you know, it's a big challenge, but once you get it, it's quite a lot of fun. I'm going to show you kind of another character. This is one of my favorites. This is our knight. I'll show you his animations. And he's a bad guy. So, yeah, let me have that. And then what we do is we then bring it into what's called a game engine.